Hello students of class 8. In the last video, I explained you the poem, The Listeners, right? So students, from this poem, I would like to ask you the stanza, fine? And from that stanza, you are supposed to find the answer. So the stanza would be given ready, and if you understood the poem clearly, then definitely you will be able to answer the questions, right? And even in revision, I would like to send you the questions, some of the stanzas along with the questions, so that you can find the answers and how you will come to know how to get the answers, right? So now here, uh, the poem Listeners, right? As I explained you the complete poem, and I also would like to uh, repeat, fine? Now in this poem, as I discussed with you in the poem, what is the central idea of the poem? Actually, this is an unusual poem, and this kind of poem. So this is an unusual poem, and Walter de la Mare is the writer, is the poet uh, of this poem. In this poem, the poet creates the world of a world full of magic, right? Because you might have learned so many times that ghost stories are there, right? So they this kind of stories create suspense, right? So magic, drama, and suspense is created in this poem. A traveler knocks at the door of a mansion. Mansion means big house, right? In a forest on a moonlit night, right? He wants to be late in. He wanted to go inside, but the listeners from within do not respond. Actually, he had promised someone, the owner of this house, before some years that he would come back, right? But no one was there. He tried to get the answer. He cried a lot to get the answer. Once, twice, thrice, he knocked at the door, but no one. There was no listener from within, which who can respond him. So in the end, what happened? The traveler rides away on his horse, right? The only eating of grass, only moving of horse, moving feet of the horse. Only these things were there in the dense forest. No other sound was there, right? That we discussed in the poem. I mean, in the poem, right? Now we are discussing the question answer, students. So first question, describe the place the traveler has come to, right? So, in this poem, the traveler reached to the house which is situated in a dense forest. I'll send you the image, only you have to listen and understand. Okay, beta? Okay. So, this was a dense forest and no people were there. It was a dense forest and no one is there. Only a lonely house is situated there, right? In this way, a dangerous scene is created, right? That nobody is there, only a house is there that was in a moonlit dark night, right? So this creates a suspense and magic, right? Okay. Question 2, what time of day was it when the traveler knocked on the door? How does the speaker tell you what time it is, right? This you have to write yourself, only points are there. Poet says that when traveler came to this lonely place, there was only a house which was silent, right? It was a moonlit night when the traveler knocked on the door, right? When there was a knocking once and twice, but there was nobody, and because of that he thought that a phantom would be inside, right? The poet says that everywhere silence was there because Kyun? Why? Because nobody was there inside. Though he had promised someone that he would come back, but when he came back on his horse, right, being a horseman, nobody was there, nobody answered him, and only horse eating grass noisily was heard. What was heard? Only eating grass of the horse. That shows it was dark, lonely night when he knocked at the door. Right? It was a dark, lonely night, and because of this, we can come to know that how lonely the night was. Next question, but you can see the question from your textbook. Fine. Okay. Third question is, why was the traveler puzzled? How did the traveler sense the presence of others inside the house? Right? You saw in the movies and somewhere, that one bird is flying from one place to another place, right? And that flapping of his wings create a dangerous scene the same way it happened, right? So, once again, the question, why was the traveler puzzled? How did the traveler sense the presence of others inside the house? So, traveler knocked at the door, but no one answered, right? As he had promised someone that he would come, but no one responded from inside the house, right? As we discussed that he had promised someone that he would come back, but there was nobody in the house. So he was puzzled, right? Second question is, how did the traveler sense the presence of other inside the house, right? The traveler thought that his voice is heard by the group of people of another world. That means phantoms. Ghosts are listening to his words, right? So his words echoed in the silence of the house, right? There were echoes of his words when he spoke something. He thought his voice is heard by the phantoms in the house. Phantoms, that I told you, ghosts. That means through echoes he came to know that somebody was there. Nobody was there to listen, right? They were listening to the people of another world, were listening to him, but they were not answering the traveler. He is thinking about that. So, next question, dear students. This answer. What happened when the traveler knocked on the door a second time? Right? When he knocked at the door second time, what happened? When he knocked once again, but his words echoed. Right? Nobody answered him. There was complete silence inside. When he knocked the second time, they remained silent. Remained. This word is remained. They remained silent. This word is remained. They remained silent. In this, only points are there. You add something, right? So, when he knocked once again, but his words echoed, right? So, when he knocked at the door, he was listening. He was trying to listen, but there was only the noise of the leaves, right? So, complete silence was there, and nobody answered his question and his words. Next question. Question number 5. What did the traveler say before leaving? Right? So, before leaving, as we know, I explained you that the traveler said that he had come to meet somebody before some years. He had come here and he had promised someone that he would come back, and to keep his promise, when he came back, he told that he had kept his promise, but nobody from inside answered him, right? So he is telling to the people of those world that he had come to keep his promise. So they have to reply, but there was no reply from the from inside the house. So what can be the answer? Before leaving, the traveler said that he had already kept his promise. He also said that uh, tell the owner of this house that he had come to meet him, but nobody answered from inside the house. Right? So this way he told the unknown people of another world, right, that he had come to keep his promise, but they did not answer from inside the house. Next question, last question. And after the discussion of this question, I would like to give you some another work also, that is on page 122 and 123 in your textbook, right? That also I would like to give you, so that you can find some another questions as well as some another MCQs, and you can answer, right? Okay. Next question, and sixth question. What happened after the traveler left? So you know that traveler had come to keep his promise, and once, twice, thrice he knocked at the door. Once again he also little bit loudly told to the people inside that he had come once again, right? So what can be the answer of last question? What happened after the traveler left? When traveler's questions were unanswered, when he asked so many questions, but all his questions were unanswered, he rode the horse. Once again, he rode the horse, right? When he rode the when he rode, the noise of iron stirrup, that means that iron one device that is that is at the both the sides of back of the horse, right, to keep the foot and climb up the horse, right? So that stirrup, only the voice sound of iron stirrup was heard. The noise of the heavy sound of the horse feet, only the horse feet sound was there, was clearly echoed when it moved away with the rider, right? So after telling two or three times to the unknown people who did not answer, who were phantoms, right? He now moved back on his horse. So only the sound of iron stirrup was there, and more than that, only the sound of horse feet were there. No other sound was there when the traveler uh, left the dense house, right? The lonely house when the traveler left. So while leaving, only this house, these noises, only noises were there, only these sounds were there, not more than that. Fine. So this was the discussion of the question answers. So dear students, you look at the answers, all this, and then you will have to write yourself. Okay. So I'll also send you the image, but you write something more in the answer, only hint I have given you. Okay, dear students. So after discussing these question answers, we'll go ahead in the syllabus. Okay. Bye.